Hey guys, recording this video so people who are at home can look at this video and work on their film production unit. I have uploaded a video already for animation. If you're looking for that, that's in a class post already. So this one would be above it. Now, what we're going to do first is understand what we're doing in class or at home. It's the same work. So if you're at home, don't be sad, you've got the same work like everyone else, and I'm going to show you how to find out where your work is. So I'm going to close my day maps because I want to show you how to get to day map from home if you don't know it yet. I know most of you do, but some of you don't, and that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to open a Chrome window. This takes me to the website of Craigmore High School. That wouldn't happen at home, so I'll start where you would start at home. Go there, in Google type Craigmore High School, and when you go onto the Craigmore High School website, which looks a bit different from what it looks at school, you click on Login to Daymap. Once you do that, you would get a dialog box that would say username and password. So your username would be the same as what you use at school. So for example, my username is raven.450, and your username would be the same as, for example, I've got Talia here, so I'm going to use as an example Talia dot her last name and the number, 3 numbers, and your password will be the same as what you use to log into your school computers when you're here. So once you've done that, hopefully you'll end up on your Daymap page, which would be a bit different from what you can see because this is a teacher's interface. More or less, if you go into your subject, which is 2 DCS or 1 DCS, you will find your film production class with Ravgather in AA6. You will have access to Outline and look at this page. So this page tells you what you need to be doing for the first 5 weeks of school this term, based on if you still keep remote learning. So first 2 weeks of school at school is still remote learning. That means they're not doing anything different. The students who are here are also doing exactly what it says here. If they have finished it, that's a different story altogether. So for example, we started DVD cover last term, and because of coronavirus, we all started staying at home, and some of us finished it, some of us are still working on it. So DVD cover design, I'm going to just show you, there's a few issues around not having Photoshop at home, or not having, not having access to all the things that we have at school. Because Photoshop is an expensive software, so I wouldn't blame you. I don't have it at home system either. Here we have a couple of options. You've got MS Paint. If a computer boots up, that means its power is on, you will have access to MS Paint or Microsoft Paint or 3D Paint as it's called these days. Or you might have a parent who actually uses Photoshop and you probably have it at home. So you can use either one of those, and don't worry about the quality, because with all that's going around in the world and in Australia and remote learning, we're not going to judge you on the basis of the quality of work that you can produce using Microsoft Paint, because as everyone knows, it hasn't got as many tools that Photoshop does, and it can't do what Photoshop does. But I did find a different solution a minute ago, so I'm going to do that. So go back to my other tab that has DVD covers on it. Now, what I'll do is go back to where you are and try and type online Photoshop. As you can see, I have looked at it a minute ago, and I found this software called Fallopian. It's an online photo editor. It's essentially, to me, looks like the same interface as Photoshop. So it can work with PSD files, which is your file type for Photoshop. It can work with that file. It can also work with PDFs and a lot of other formats, which is fantastic because we need, if you're working at school and at home and you've got your file on USB, you'd be able to work on it wherever you are. So you can create a new template. You can choose one of the existing template. I mean, depending on if you are in love. I mean, I'll just go into new project and I'll create, what are we going to call it? DVD cover.
Yeah.
Tali is my assistant today.
Yeah.
So you'll hear her every now and then. With the width and the height, if you remember, we look up dimensions of a DVD cover. They're not going to change. If you've started one already, you will see it. What are the DVD case dimensions? DVD cover template and dimensions. That's good. You can download a template if you want, but for normal case, 10.5 inches, 273 by 183. That's the one we used earlier, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we've used that, and we can use that information to create. So 273, 183. So I'm going to go back to my Photoshop tab, and I'm going to type, what was it?
I think it was like 183.
183.
And then I can't remember the other one.
And 273, I think. Let's see. 273. So I'll keep the width first. 273.
And then
183. And one important thing, we're not going to keep it in pixels, we're going to keep it in millimeters because that's a real world thing. Pixels is just on computers. So once you've done that, background is white, create. So your DVD template is right here. And now, before I can make a DVD cover, what I need to know is, what do I need for a DVD cover? And Talia, do you have anything in mind that might go on a DVD cover?
the title.
Yeah, the title. So, in the meantime, before I start my DVD cover, I would want to list down all the elements of DVD cover. So, I'm going to open a Word document and keep it on the side of my Photoshop document. That didn't work very well, did it? No. Okay. This way, what we can do is, yeah, the ads is a negative of working online, but at least we can work online, so that's great. Close that. Good. So you've got your DVD cover template and your Word document. So in Word document, what I'll do is, as Talia said, I'll list down elements of a DVD cover. First thing was a title. Then, not everyone's as smart as Talia, so what we have to do is probably going to go and look up a DVD cover. So in order to do that, I'll just go there and type DVD covers. And look into images and pick a cover that you like. I like Avengers, but I wouldn't pick that because that's just full of everything. Have you got one? Have you got one that's your favorite? You can choose that.
I don't know.
Oh, Dexter looks alright. I mean, it's not PG, but you know, I think all of us are, hopefully, old enough. It just covers. Oh, that's a. What is that? That's a printer page with DVD covers. That's great. So if you look at Dexter, yes, we've got the title here. We've got the title here. It also says the season of the title. That's good.
It's also got the DVD thing.
Oh, the little DVD sign. Okay, DVD sign. Then In this DVD, we've got a barcode,
Short description.
a synopsis.
Yeah.
Is that?
I
Yeah.
don't know what it was called.
Yeah. No, that's all right. Synopsis is another thing you can see, or if you look at a back of a book cover, you see the blurb, which is the same as if you look at a DVD. It's called a synopsis. Then you can have a few photos. Now, this is sort of a tricky bit. Not everyone has the best cameras, and not everyone has the best resources to take photos. Here, Talia took a photo of herself in front of the green screen. Then it was easy to get rid of the background. Yeah? But what do you think, Talia? Can we just do that at home with a white wall?
I mean, maybe. I don't know if it works the same as a green screen.
Yeah, not as good as a green screen, but if you take a photo at home with a white wall or even a beige wall or whatever wall you've got, without a photo, obviously, with nothing on it, take a photo. Using Photoshop, you can delete the background. So that is quite possible. So photos is one of them. Then, if I look here, what is that? Can't read it, so I'm just going to say, it's called the major cast. So main people, producers, directors, and actors. Right? Sometimes you'd see that same thing under the title. So you might actually have that under the title of the movie. You'd probably say, obviously, if you have Chris Hemsworth working in the movie, you'd probably write Chris Hemsworth there, and you'd say, yeah, if they're well known, you try and sell those actors. So you can say Chris Hemsworth, you can say Emma Blunt. That's one of my favorites. Did not need to know that, but you know, I'm blubbering. You got that. So let's see. So here we've got some scenes. So maybe it's different episodes. If you wanted to do it, probably major scene titles with, or, so this is what we've already looked at. And then last thing, but not the least, is the background. Right. So you've got all these things written up that you need to actually create. It's the this is a good start. If you've got all of that, this is your starting point. What we can do now is actually open up Photoshop or Paint or Photopea, whatever you've got. We'll work on that. So this layer is locked. Yes, I understand that. So we go into the layer menu. You got the background, you can't change it, and that's why it's locked. Right? So we can create a new layer, and we can bring a background to it. If we say what background we want to get, I would go with, I want to get the school in this background. I'm not at school, I can't take school photos. Yes, you can. Craigmore High School, images. You got plenty of photos of the school. Alright. So, for example, I'll pick that because that's a good landscape picture. I will try and go into it if it lets me go into the website and actually take the real photo, because that helps me with a good resolution picture. So, right click, save. We don't have an option to save. We've got a cheat there, but you can actually print screen and save it that way. So the recording's going to time out in a minute. So what I'll do is, recording's going to time out in 10 seconds. Continue in next video. Thank you.